Hi, and welcome to this digital marketing strategy session. Thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself to you online, and I trust you will find the information that I'm going to share valuable to your business. A quick introduction. My name is Henriette Brandt, and I'm the founder of the We Do Group. I started We Do Digital 7 years ago as a digital marketing training provider, and the business has since evolved into a digital marketing agency that provides a complete digital marketing turnkey service, including consulting and training services. You will need more or less an hour for today's session, and I will cover the following: an overview of digital marketing and the tools that you need in your digital marketing toolkit for an effective digital marketing strategy, our 6-step approach to formulating a practical digital marketing strategy, and then more information about our 6-week digital marketing strategy course and a special enrollment offer to pay forward to a business associate or colleague. So let's get started with an introduction and the definition of digital marketing. What is digital marketing? Digital marketing is all the activities that connect you with your potential customers or clients using the internet and other forms of digital communication. Why do you need digital marketing? Marketing has been and always will be about connecting with your audience in the right place and at the right time. That means you also need to meet them where they are already spending time, on the internet. Why do you need a digital marketing strategy? Firstly, a digital marketing strategy gives you direction. No strategy means no clear strategic goals. This results in challenges when having to allocate sufficient resources to individual marketing activities, and it makes it even more difficult to measure whether your digital marketing activities are successful. It helps you develop an effective online value proposition. The online marketplace is competitive, and you need a well-thought digital marketing strategy to stand out in the crowd. It helps you avoid duplication of time, effort, and resources. An effective digital marketing strategy will prevent inefficiencies and the duplication of cost and resources. It also avoids the risks that come with activities performed in silos. Digital marketing that is accomplished in silos without an overview of the big picture is a disaster waiting to happen. Digital marketing is most productive when all the tools in the digital marketing toolkit are used in an integrated approach. Let's look at a simple example of the silo approach. Google Ads is a specialist field, and a large percentage of companies outsource it rather than attempting to run it in-house. An effective Google Ads campaign requires a fast-loading destination to direct traffic to. Nobody who searches for a specific service or product enjoys a slow website. It also needs this destination to be attractive, to be to the point, and to have key information placed where it will attract attention. If a company's website is not built for speed, and the page layout was not purposefully done with lead generation in mind, the end result is either an ineffective Google Ads campaign or additional costs that need to be incurred for the development of landing pages that will satisfy the need of an attractive, effective destination. We will chat a little bit more about landing pages later. First, let's go through our 6 steps in our digital marketing strategy. Our first step is determining where should my business live on the internet and what should my living space look like. The second step, who are the people I want to visit me and where do they live on the internet? Step 3, how do I make sure that my ideal customer knows where I live and how do I invite them to visit me? Step 4, how do I know how many visitors I had and whether they had a good time? How do I know what they got up to while they were visiting me? Step 5, How do I get them to visit me again? And step 6, how do I get them to tell their friends? There is a bit of prep work to be done before we can get started on the 6 steps. It is important that you get to know the tools in your digital marketing toolkit, as you will need a combination of tools to implement each step successfully. Some tools are more complicated than others, and usually the more specialized the tool, the more expensive it is to outsource it, and therefore you need to know beforehand what these tools are, what skills and resources are available in-house, what will be the cost, including opportunity cost of developing the required skills in-house, and what will be the cost of outsourcing certain components of the toolkit. Let's have a look at some of these tools. We have tools that provide you with an address on the World Wide Web to send your customers to. Most of you have a website, but is a website really the best place to start? When consulting with a new client who needs a website, we always ask the question, how much did you budget to drive traffic to your website? What is the use of a beautiful new website if nobody sees it? You need a plan to get traffic to your website, and that plan usually also needs a budget. Which brings us to landing pages. If you are starting a new business and you have a limited budget, it sometimes makes more sense to start with a landing page. It's far more cost effective and it will leave you with some budget to drive traffic to it. So what is the main difference between a website and a landing page? Basically, that a landing page is built with a specific purpose in mind, a specific objective, for example, making a sale, generating a lead, having people sign up to a subscribers list. There's a specific purpose that it's been built for, and it has the necessary information available in one place on one page that will convince or motivate your customer or your visitor to take that desired action. E-commerce, I think lockdown and COVID-19 has taught all of us how important e-commerce is for our businesses and how important it is to build that capability online. ClickFunnels software. When you have limited resources and limited budget, ClickFunnels software is really the way to go. It enables you to connect your domain to landing pages and the necessary software to help you build and automate an entire sales funnel, including email communication that's automated, the necessary landing pages, the necessary processes, and usually payment portals are also integrated into your ClickFunnels software. Some examples that I can mention here is ClickFunnels, that's the name of the product. HubSpot is also a very good one. Zoho has got some awesome funnels built into the software. Definitely something to look at when you want to automate processes. Some other tools that we need in our digital marketing toolkit is tools to send visitors to our address on the World Wide Web. Yes, we have an address, but we need to take specific action to send visitors to that address. Social media is still one of the most cost-effective ways to do this. However, with social media, you don't always have a serious buyer. You have more of a browser, while when you've got visitors that you send to your website via Google Ads, that is usually a more serious customer. A Google Ads customer has already decided that he needs your service, and he's searching Google to decide who should satisfy the service or who should deliver the service, and therefore it's a more serious lead. Search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is a tool that we use to improve your website's organic ranking on Google. So with Google Ads, we pay Google to show an ad for your business when somebody searches for your specific services or products. While with search engine optimization, if that is done correctly, your website will appear in organic rankings on Google. In other words, it will be on page 1 or page 2, and you won't have to pay Google to show an ad for your business. Google Ads is more of a short-term solution. Search engine optimization takes a bit of time, and we usually recommend that you stick with it for at least 3 to 6 months to really start seeing the benefit. Affiliate marketing is another very effective way of sending visitors to your address on the World Wide Web. Affiliate marketing basically takes your customers and make them part of your marketing team. You get a variety of affiliate marketing platforms that you can make use of, and it basically enables customers to sign up to your affiliate marketing network, get a link that is unique to them, and use that link to promote your services or products. Whenever anybody signs up via that link, it gets registered against that person's name or membership, and that person is rewarded with either a discount on your products or commission or whatever you decide that reward should be. Podcasts. Podcasts are very, very effective. Audio is the new kid on the block, and all of the big players, Facebook, Apple, are looking at podcasts and audio to make an impact and to get that competitive edge. It's going to be an interesting space to watch. On our website, we've published an article this week, a blog article on audio and the way forward with audio and how you should look at utilizing it in your business. You can have a look at that article on our website, www.wedodigital.co.za. Google My Business, that's your Google listing on the internet. If you don't know whether you've got a Google listing or not, this is what it looks like. And if your business is searched for on the internet and a listing like this does not come up, it means you do not have a Google My Business listing. Now you can see here you've got a website button, directions. With this specific client, there's accommodation bookings that can be made directly from this listing. Very effective way of sending business to your website. Some more tools that we need, tools to build your brand, your credibility, and meaningful engagement with your customers. Here we look at tools like graphic design. Now, it's very important when you put your brand out there on the World Wide Web that there's consistency, that you've got brand colors, fonts specific to your brand, a certain look and feel that people can start associating with your brand and your business. Graphic design goes without saying. You really need graphic design capability to get that brand across as well as you possibly can. Video, we are spoiled for choice with video software that is available and very cost effective. It is worth your while subscribing to a video software of some sort to enable you to make nice, interesting, attractive videos for social media and also for your website. Live streaming, I must admit, I still find Facebook Live a little bit daunting, but it is one of the best ways to get good organic reach on Facebook. For those of you who use Facebook marketing quite extensively, you will know that a business page usually battles to get good organic reach on Facebook, while Facebook Live is still one of the methods that's available to really get good organic reach. Copywriting. Yes, you need beautiful pictures, you need beautiful videos, but you also need a person or a tool to generate great content for you. That content must have the correct tone of voice for your audience. It must be a good variety between educational content, motivating content, humorous and engaging content, entertaining content. It's very important to get that combination right when you are producing content to send visitors to your web destination on the World Wide Web. Then we also look at tools to measure performance and customer perception of your brand. And I find that these tools are usually neglected. We look at Google Analytics, a free tool with code that gets embedded on your website and gives you insight in terms of how well your website is doing or how well your landing page is doing. Heat maps. Heat maps are very, very effective. That shows you how customers behave on your website or on your landing page. And I will give you a little bit more information about that later. Social listening tools. This enables you to hear and listen to what is being said about your brand or about your industry on the internet. It enables you to monitor your own brand as well as the brand of your competitors and really know what the sentiment is out there. Examples of social listening tools are Talkwater, Social Bakers. Most of those tools are more geared towards the international market. So if you have an international brand, definitely go that route. Surveys and polls. Yes, if you want to know what your customers think of your business, you ask them by means of a survey, by means of polls on social media. Very effective. What are some of the other tools that we need in our digital marketing toolkit? We also look at tools to make it easy for our customers to communicate and do business with us. Here we look at mobile apps, messaging apps. When we mention messaging apps, here we look at apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook Messenger, all very effective to communicate with our customer. I think it's important in today's digital world that we communicate with our customer, not in a way that suits us, but in a way that suits our client. And if your client is on WhatsApp, communicate with him there. If your client is on Telegram, communicate with him there. And if he prefers to communicate with you on Facebook Messenger, you need to be available to communicate with him there as well. Chatbots. Oh, personally, I dislike chatbots if they are not set up correctly. If you do decide to make use of chatbots on your website, just make sure that it's not set up in a way that is going to send your customer around in circles. It's always good to build a bit of humor in there because most of us know when we're chatting to a chatbot. So if you can build a bit of humor into your process in the lines of, you are talking to a robot right now, I don't have all the answers. If you want to speak to a human, get back to us within business hours. That usually helps to take away the frustration associated with chatting with chatbots. Then we need tools to automate our sales processes and to communicate with our customers. Automation can save you a lot of time. It makes your marketing processes more effective, and it also takes away some frustration from your sales team. One of the things I mentioned earlier is that when you generate leads from certain social media platforms, sometimes those leads are not very serious leads and they need to be warmed up and filtered and nurtured before you actually get a salesperson to contact them. If you don't follow that process, you end up with a demotivated sales team who tell you that the leads are useless, and sometimes they've got a point. So it's very important to build in automated processes where you start nurturing and qualifying the leads that come in so that your sales team don't waste time with cold leads and or not so serious leads, and focus their time and attention on leads that are really serious to do business with you. So examples is your CRM software. Personally, Zoho is one of my favorites. I also love HubSpot, although I haven't used it that intensively. Salesforce as well, a very good CRM, but Zoho is still my favorite. Bulk SMS systems. Yes, it's still effective. It still helps you to convey a message to your customer. I would not use bulk SMS systems to generate leads. I would just use that to communicate. So, for example, if you are a hosting provider and you know that your service needs maintenance, then a bulk SMS to your customer base to advise them that there's going to be downtime because of maintenance is a good way to communicate. Email marketing. A lot of people think that email marketing is dead. It's not. If email marketing is done correctly, it is still extremely effective. The secret to effective email marketing is just to be interesting and be relevant, not always try to do a sales job, but actually share valuable information with your customer base. When we look at building automated email processes or email communication processes, we usually look at a chain of emails that is value, 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 and then the fourth email is a sales email. And then again, we go value, 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 and the fourth email will be a sales email. If you go along that route, you will find that your customers do not unsubscribe from your mailing list because the information that you send them is so extremely valuable. Now we've finished our introduction, and we're going to go over to the different steps in the digital marketing strategy. So let's look at step 1. Where should my business live on the internet, and what should my living space look like? Most new business owners, when they start with a business, they want to start with a website. But often this website is embarked on without asking the correct questions. And these questions are, what is the purpose of this website? What do I need my website to do for me? If your website has to capture leads for you and has to generate sales for you, that website is going to look totally different and is going to be built totally different than a website that just needs to showcase your work, for example. If you are an architect with a good reputation, people know you, and you just want a place on the internet where you can showcase a gallery of your work, that website will look different. A photographer who wants to do the same with portfolio of photo shoots that has been done in the past, also your website will look different. While if you are very serious about ranking on Google and you want people to get to your website when they search for your services, you want to appear on that first page of Google, that website again will look totally different. Functionality. What is the functionality that you would want built into your website? Do you want online commerce functionality? Do you want customers to be able to chat with you online? Do you want them to sign up to your mailing list? What is the functionality that you require as part of your website? What is your budget? Very important. We can't have caviar on a sardine budget. What is your budget? And for that budget, what is the best that you can do? As mentioned earlier, sometimes it's better to start with just a landing page. And then, of course, urgency. Often we try to do things ourselves, and it takes us so much longer that to try and do it ourselves that we end up losing opportunities in the process. Now, when we look at a website, as mentioned already, we need to decide, do we just need a landing page or do we need a full-blown website? If we just need a landing page, there are several options that we can have a look at. Some of the well-known bulk mailing platforms have got landing page capability built into them. Also, it has the capability that you can link your domain to those landing pages. So built into your email platform, you actually have your landing pages in there. Then you can also look at landing page builders, for example, Instapage, Landingi. Within Zoho CRM, you also have landing page capability. So those are the different options that you have available. There really is a myriad of options available, and it's about finding the most cost-effective option for your business. You can also decide to build a full-on website. And for those, there are lovely website builders, for example, Squarespace and Wix, that works on a drag and drop system. And you don't need to be a web developer to be able to use those tools. Again, it's a case of how much time do you have? What is the urgency? Do you have the time to play around with these website builders? Do you actually need to get some presence online as fast as possible so that you can start generating revenue? Or what is the urgency and what is the budget that you've got available? One of the downsides of using these drag and drop builders is that they are usually not as effective when it comes to ranking on Google. If ranking on Google is important to you, then our suggestion is usually that you go for either a WordPress website or a Joomla website where you've got far more functionality available for you to do search engine optimization. When you look at e-commerce, again, you've got options to use WooCommerce if you're using the WordPress platform, or to actually build an entire website for yourself on Ecwid or Shopify. Those are just two examples of e-commerce platforms that also work on a drag and drop system. Again, search engine optimization is far more effective with the WooCommerce and WordPress combination than what it is with Ecwid and Shopify. But the upside of using Ecwid and Shopify is that it enables you to manage and maintain your own online presence, your own online store. It's easy, it's user-friendly, it automates a lot of things that is not automated on WooCommerce, and it enables you to do a lot of the work yourself and save a lot of cost in the process. Then, of course, you need to also consider making use of third-party websites. For example, Takealot, eBay, and Etsy. It might be worth your while to rather start selling your product on those type of websites than to try and do it yourself. Once we've established what our address on the World Wide Web should be, we can move on to step 2. And who are the people you want to visit and where do they live on the internet? In marketing, we look at a concept that we call a buyer persona or a customer persona. And we create those buyer personas or customer personas based on a number of criteria. For example, age, location, where the person works or lives, language, spending power and patterns, interests, challenges that they might face, the stage of life, the goals that they have, pain points that they experience, and their buying patterns. So when you build a customer persona, you actually give that person a name and you create an entire profile around that person. For example, you will say, meet Mike. Mike is a 39-year-old engineer. His family lives in South Africa and he works in Abu Dhabi on a contract. He speaks English and he does not spend a lot of money in Abu Dhabi, but he sends money, he earns the money for his family who lives in South Africa, and they spend on the typical household expenses, car payments, home bond, food, school fees, etc. Mike likes to play online games in the evenings. That's his interests. One of the challenges that he has is the different culture in Abu Dhabi and also the fact that he does not see his family very often. He is a young parent, he's got small children, and he's been married for 7 years. His goals are to start his own business in South Africa so that he doesn't need to work abroad. Pain points that he's experiencing is, for example, restricted travel during COVID-19 and not being able to spend time with his family or visiting his family. Buying patterns could be, for example, replacing his vehicle every 3 to 4 years, replacing cell phones every 2 years, replacing laptops once a year. And that is the type of detail that you need to go into when you build your customer persona and your buyer persona. And that will enable you to really, really look at what should I communicate to my customers? How should I communicate with them? What is the tone of voice that I should use? What are the pain points that I could address? And then most importantly, where do they live on the internet? Once you've built your customer persona, it's far easier for you to make that decision to decide where will I approach my customer on the internet and how will I approach them. So we've looked at step 1, what should my address be on the internet? We looked at step 2, where do I find my ideal customer and what do they look like? And then we go to step number 3. How do I make sure that my ideal customer knows where I live and how do I invite them to visit me? I'm going to revisit the tools that we looked at earlier in terms of social media tools that sends traffic to the address where we live on the internet. Social media, Google Ads, search engine optimization, affiliate marketing, podcasts, Google My Business. These are all very effective tools to use to send traffic to your address on the World Wide Web, to make sure that your customer or your ideal customer, that ideal customer persona that you build, that they know where to find you on the internet. Then step 4, how do I know how many visitors I had and whether they had a good time? As mentioned earlier, this is a step that is often neglected, and in my opinion, it's one of the most important steps in your digital marketing strategy. In our 6-week digital marketing course, we also spend a lot of time on analytics and the information it gives you and how you should use that information to adjust your strategy and make changes in your digital marketing plan. Now, some of the information that you would need to determine whether your strategy is successful and whether the different tools that you are using are working would be the number of new visitors that visit you on your address on the internet, the number of repeat visitors. You don't just want to be visited once, you want to be visited repeatedly. Where do my visitors come from? If you are spending a budget on social media, on Google, on search engine optimization, how do you know which one of those platforms are driving the most traffic to your website if you're not measuring it? Something like Google Analytics will show you exactly which traffic was driven or how many visitors were driven to your website with paid Google Ads campaigns, what was organic traffic, in other words, people who searched for your business and your business came up in the normal search results on Google, which of those customers came from Facebook, from Instagram, from LinkedIn, from Pinterest. You need to have that information available so that you can assess whether the campaigns that you are running are successful and which of them are most cost effective, which of them are giving you the best results. Site speed. When last have you measured your site speed? Nobody likes a slow website experience, and site speed and bounce rate actually go hand in hand. Usually a slow loading website has a high bounce rate. So what do we mean by bounce rate? Bounce rate is how fast people leave your website. So if they land on your website or on your landing page and they leave within a matter of seconds, it means that what they saw on your website was not of interest to them and they bounce. In other words, they leave your website very quickly. Now, why is site speed and bounce rate so important, and why is it important for you to measure it? Both of them affect your Google ranking, and it also affects the effectiveness of your Google Ads campaigns. Google does not like slow websites, and they also discriminate against websites with a high bounce rate. So if you want to rank on Google, you need to make sure that website loads super fast and you have a low bounce rate. When you run Google Ads campaigns, Google determines your ad rank, in other words, the position that your ad has on the page where your ad is shown. That ad rank is determined by a formula, and the formula is your bidding amount multiplied by your quality score. Your site speed and your bounce rate has a direct impact on your quality score. So that shows you that if you want to have a good ad rank, you can't just bid a high amount. You need to make sure that your quality score is good. Then you also want to know, where do my website visitors spend time? What are the pages that get the most visitors and how long do they spend there? What do they actually look at? And when do they decide to leave my site? Very important. Some more information that Google Analytics will give you is your cost per click and cost per conversion. You will be able to see how many visitors came from which platform and what did it cost you to get those visitors to your website. But it will also show you how many conversions you had from each one of those platforms. When we say conversion, what we mean by that is something like an online sale, that would be a conversion. Filling in an online contact form, that would be seen as a conversion. Somebody filling in and joining your subscriber list, that would also be seen as a conversion. And it's important to be able to measure not just where most of your traffic comes from, but also what traffic converts and takes the desired action that you want them to take. You might find that, yes, I get most of my visitors from Facebook, but the visitors that convert are my Google Ads visitors. And you might then decide to spend a little bit less on Facebook and to rather push that money into your Google Ads. Those are some of the decisions that you can make if you've got the right analytics tools in place. Another tool that I love is heat maps, and one of my personal favorites is Hotjar. Hotjar is also code that you embed on your website, and that code enables you to see where your visitors have spent most of their time on the website. Their eyeballs, where did the eyeballs go? Your heat maps will show you in the hot areas, the red areas, where did most of our eyeballs go? And the cold areas, the blue areas, that's where the least amount of views were had. So if you have to decide on restructuring your website or restructuring your landing page to be more effective, you can place that prominent information, the information that will absolutely motivate the buying decision or the lead generation decision. You can place that information in the most prominent location on your website. Now we look at step 5. How do I get my visitors to visit me again? We want repeat sales if we run an online store. We want more people who look like our customers that converted to visit us. And for this purpose, we use Google tags and we use pixels. Insight tags from LinkedIn and from Twitter are also very useful. Pixels from Facebook are very useful. And our Google Analytics code that we embed on our website, also very useful to get our visitors to visit us again. So how does this work? A pixel is a little piece of code that you get on Facebook, and you embed that piece of code on your website. That piece of code captures the identity, or rather the IP address of people who visit your website, and it enables you to retarget that person on Facebook. For example, recently I've been in the market for a new SUV, and I spent one morning looking at the different SUVs available on Google. Immediately when I logged into my Facebook account again, Facebook started showing me every single special available at the moment on SUVs. And how did they do that? The different advertisers, Suzuki and Ford and Toyota and Volkswagen, they all make use of pixels on their websites. So the Facebook pixel is on their website because I visited some of these websites. Facebook knew that I was in the market for a new SUV, and the advertisers on Facebook, when they put together their campaigns and they select the audience that they want to see their ads, they select people who are in the market for a new SUV. And in that way, I could see all the different specials in my newsfeed. Some people find it annoying. I actually look at Facebook as a massive time saver, because I know I just need to quickly go onto Google and search for something and spend 10 or 15 minutes, and thereafter Facebook will do my work for me and will show me all the different specials in that specific category that I was looking at. The same happens on the internet. If you've got third-party cookies on a website, or if you visit a website with third-party cookies, you will find that when you go into other websites that are part of the AdSense network of Google, you will find that adverts pop up as you are searching the web that is relevant to what you've been searching previously. This is a little bit of a contentious issue because of changes in privacy laws. Google has communicated that third-party cookies will be phased out over a period of 2 years by the end of 2022. So the use of cookies will be restricted more towards targeting groups rather than targeting individuals. The same with Apple's recent rollout. They have now implemented a process in their software update where you actually have to give permission as an Apple user to get tracked. And I think most people will untick that box. So it is still a very effective method to use to do retargeting. But in our digital marketing strategy course, when we get to this specific phase, we will give you some action plans on how to do retargeting going forward in the absence of cookies. You can also, there's an interesting article on our blog, wedodigital.co.za, about a cookieless future and how retargeting will look like when we can't be using cookies anymore. Right, lastly, step 6. This is actually such a simple step, but it's also a step that is neglected by so many marketers and so many businesses. How do I get my visitors or my customers to tell their friends? We are fortunate to have social media and the power of social media to get our brand out there and to get good messages out there. But we forget to ask our customers for reviews. Unfortunately, with social media, what we find is that when there's poor service or unhappiness about service, people are very quick to go to social media with a poor review. But good reviews, you often need to ask for it. Most of the time, you need to ask for it. So it's an important step to build into your marketing strategy to automate the process of asking your customers for reviews. I've recently had an experience where I rented a vintage vehicle for a special birthday, and they were very good with it. After the booking was confirmed, they sent me an email asking me if I would mind them contacting me for a review once the service has been rendered. And I replied, there was a button that I could select and click on, yes or no. And after the weekend, after we made use of the service, I got the email with a link through to the Google My Business listing where I could give them a review. So that's an example of a solid automated process that happens in the background. You don't need to sit and send out emails and ask customers. It's automated and it happens all by itself. And if your customers received a good service from you, they will usually be quite keen to go and give you a good review. Just a word on reviews and handling poor reviews on social media and on Google. Don't ignore poor reviews. That's the worst thing you can do. The ostrich with the head in the sand is not the right strategy to follow. I think personally, when I go onto a social media page and I only see good reviews, you know, I sometimes wonder about that, because as a business owner, I know that my service is only as good as my worst employee on his worst day. So you will have issues with service from time to time. And I think it's important to demonstrate on your social media profiles and also on Google reviews how you deal with poor service, how you correct it. The customer is not always right, but the customer is always king and should be treated that way. Online is no exception. Handle your reviews politely, professionally, and that also demonstrates your integrity as a business and your values as a business. Right, let's get to our 6-step digital marketing strategy course. This is a 6-week course that starts this Thursday on the 17th of May. Thereafter, it gets launched on the 17th of May, and thereafter it will be available continuously. A 6-week course, and it's at a price of $4,950. You can go to our website, wedodigital.training, to enroll, or you can get more information from me at hello@wedodigital.training. So for this launch period of our course, we are offering a free pay it forward enrollment to a business colleague or a business associate of yours. So if you decide to enroll in the course, we will give you a free enrollment after you've enrolled. Let me just clarify that. You enroll, you pay the course fee, and you then get a second enrollment that you can pay it forward to a business associate or a colleague or a business network individual that you know that you think will benefit from the course. So basically 2 enrollments for the price of 1. You can go to our website, wedodigital.training, and enroll there, and the course will kick off on the 17th of May. So what will we cover in this course? We will basically go through our 6 steps in the digital marketing strategy. Step 1, where should my business live on the internet, and what should my living space look like? There we will go through your business's individual needs, and we will help you to decide what the ideal address for your business is, what that address should look like, what that living space should look like, what functionality you should have in your website, and what are maybe nice to have that you can utilize later. Step 2, who are the people I want to visit me, and where do they live on the internet. We will help you to build your customer persona or your buyer persona, and we will show you how to do the research to find out on which platforms they are. Also, to find out how you should communicate to them. What is the tone of voice that you should be using on those different platforms? Step 3, how do I make sure that my ideal customer knows where I live, and how do I invite them to visit me? We're going to spend quite a bit of time on this step in the course because this is crucial, this is critical. You need to know all the different tips and tricks of the trade that we use for our agency clients, on how to get traffic to your website, how to get visitors to visit you where you live on the internet. Step 4, how do I know how many visitors I had and whether they had a good time? In this step, we'll show you the different analytics tools that you can use. We'll show you how to embed them on your website and how to interpret the different analytics information that you can gain from them. And then also very important, not just interpretation, but how do you decide what action to take based on the information that you're getting from these tools. Step 5, we are going to show you exactly how pixels work, how Google Analytics tags work, and how to set up retargeting audiences. We're going to explain to you the difference between retargeting and remarketing, and also how to automate certain processes using CRM software to be able to automate a lot of the activities. And then step 6, how do I get them to tell their friends? Here we will show you how to set up your Google My Business profile if you don't have it yet, how to automate asking for reviews, and also teach you how to handle poor reviews online in an effective and professional manner. Just a little bit of feedback from customers or clients who've attended some of our training previously. Yolandi said, I attended a digital marketing strategy course with Henriette. She was extremely professional in her presentation and highly educated and thorough in the subject she presented. Thanks for that great review, Yolandi. And then Dalport said, absolutely brilliant, very focused, practical, and excellent interaction during the session. Henriette made very important and useful recommendations on our total digital media strategy with huge success. So thank you very much for listening. If you've listened right through to the end, I hope to see you online in our digital marketing strategy course. And if you do have any further questions, you are very welcome to email me at hello@wedodigital.training.